In an era where the rustle of silk gowns mingled with the clink of armoured knights, the Tudor court was a chessboard of human ambition and deceit. Here, every whispered word could be a death sentence, every alliance a plot to seize power. This was a world where monarchs were both hunter and hunted, their courts arenas of relentless intrigue and passion. Henry VIII's thunderous demands for a male heir tore apart the fabric of English religion, while Elizabeth I's masterful manipulation of her court ensured her survival and the flourishing of an empire. In this video, we delve into the dark corridors of Tudor power, uncovering the personal vendettas, secret love affairs, and the chillingly pragmatic politics of the era. The Tudor era dawned blood-red with the victory of Henry Tudor, later Henry VII, at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485. This moment marked the culmination of the vicious Wars of the Roses, setting a new dynasty upon England's throne. It was a dynasty birthed from conflict, destined to be defined by the power struggles that it both inherited and instigated. Henry VII's rule stabilized a fractured kingdom. He maneuvered through marital alliances and shrewd economic policies, laying a solid foundation for his heirs. His reign heralded the start of a transformative century for England, one that would witness the heights of monarchical power and the depths of human cunning. The Tudor dynasty was not merely a political phenomenon, it was a cultural revolution. It changed how kingship was perceived and practiced. The stage was set, the players in position, and the Game of Thrones ready to begin anew. Henry VIII ascended the throne as a vibrant, charismatic youth, only to transform into a feared and often despotic ruler. His reign was marked by drastic personal and political shifts, mirroring his physical transformation from a handsome prince into an obese tyrant plagued by ill health. His quest for a male heir drove him into the arms of 6 different women through marriage, each union a strategic play within the larger game of European politics. These marriages shifted England's alliances, tore apart its religious fabric, and led to the establishment of the Church of England, forever altering the religious landscape of the nation. Henry's creation of the Church of England was as much a political maneuver as it was a result of his notorious personal life. It was an act of defiance against the Pope, rooted in his desperate need for a divorce from Catherine of Aragon, and it triggered the English Reformation, a pivotal point in history. Henry VIII's 6 marriages were less about romance and more about political necessity and personal obsession. Catherine of Aragon, his first wife and a Spanish princess, failed to produce a male heir, setting the stage for her tragic downfall. Anne Boleyn, his most infamous wife, brought passion and peril. Her execution marked one of the darkest moments of Henry's reign. Each wife played a distinct role. Jane Seymour provided the much-desired male heir. Anne of Cleves was a political alliance, Catherine Howard, a tragic figure of youthful indiscretion, and finally Catherine Parr, who outlived the aging king. Each woman's fate intertwined with the political climate, reflecting the volatile nature of being close to such power. Their stories are tales of manipulation, ambition, and survival. They reflect the perilous balance women had to maintain in a court where their value was measured by their ability to bear sons and navigate the treacherous waters of royal favor. The split from the Catholic Church was a seismic event in Tudor England, instigated by Henry VIII's contentious pursuit of a male heir. This schism gave birth to the Church of England, a move that would lead to widespread religious transformation and tumult. The Reformation affected every layer of Tudor society. It dismantled monasteries, redistributed wealth, and redefined the spiritual landscape. The nobility found new opportunities for power and profit, while the common people faced an era of religious confusion and upheaval. The creation of the Church of England was not just a political revolution, it was a cultural and spiritual upheaval that would echo through the centuries, deeply influencing the identity and trajectory of the nation. Elizabeth then rose to the throne under the shadow of scandal and skepticism. She was the daughter of Anne Boleyn, whose execution tainted Elizabeth with illegitimacy. Yet she turned her precarious beginnings into a reign of unprecedented success known as the Elizabethan Age. Her rule was characterized by a shrewd balance of magnanimity and ruthlessness. Elizabeth managed her image carefully, becoming both a beloved figure and a formidable monarch. She used her unmarried status as a political tool, skillfully playing European powers against each other through the possibility of marriage. Elizabeth's reign was marked by internal stability and external expansion. She fostered the arts, encouraged exploration, and skillfully navigated the deadly waters of court politics. Her leadership not only solidified her place in history, but also set the stage for Britain's rise on the world stage. The Tudor court was a hotbed of romantic entanglements and illicit affairs, each with potential political repercussions. Love, or the semblance of it, was a weapon as sharp as any sword. Courtiers used romance to ascend the social ladder, secure favors, or manipulate rivals. These relationships were fraught with danger. A wrong step could lead to disgrace, or worse, the scaffold. The passions and preferences of monarchs like Henry VIII and Elizabeth I often dictated the fortunes of their subjects, turning personal relationships into matters of life and death. The intertwining of the personal and political at the Tudor court underscores the complexity and peril of life at the apex of power, where hearts were traded as freely as lands and titles. Elizabeth I's reign was under constant threat from both internal and external forces. To counter these threats, she established an extensive network of spies, a shadow army that was the forerunner to modern intelligence agencies. This network was spearheaded by her trusted advisor, Sir Francis Walsingham, known as her spy master. Walsingham's agents infiltrated courts and councils across Europe, intercepting messages, uncovering plots, and ensuring Elizabeth's safety. Their work was the backbone of her security and a key factor in her successful reign. This clandestine warfare was not just about gathering information, but also about psychological manipulation, spreading disinformation and sowing discord among enemies. It was a dark art that protected the Queen and the realm. The Tudor era was not just about political intrigue, but also a period of cultural renaissance. Under the patronage of the monarchs, particularly during the reign of Elizabeth I, England experienced a flowering of arts and culture that would leave a lasting mark on the world. This period saw the rise of figures like William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe, whose works are still celebrated today. The era also witnessed advancements in painting, music, and literature, reflecting the dynamic and evolving spirit of the time. The cultural achievements of the Tudor era underscored the complexities and contradictions of the period, celebrating life in times of tumult and finding beauty amidst brutality. The Tower of London stood as a grim reminder of the deadly stakes of Tudor politics. It was both a royal palace and a prison, a place where enemies of the crown were confined and sometimes executed. Notable figures such as Anne Boleyn and Sir Thomas More met their end within its walls, victims of the era's ruthless power struggles. The Tower's history is filled with tales of intrigue, betrayal, and tragedy, reflecting the perilous nature of life at the top of Tudor society. The Tower of London was not just a physical space, but a potent symbol of royal authority and the dire consequences of falling out of favour. The Spanish Armada's attempt to invade England in 1588 was one of the greatest military challenges faced by Elizabeth I. This naval battle was not just a clash of ships, but of strategic wits. England's smaller, more maneuverable fleet, under the command of Francis Drake, used innovative tactics to combat the larger Spanish ships. The victory was a turning point, establishing England as a formidable naval power and bolstering Elizabeth's leadership. The defeat of the Armada was celebrated as a miraculous victory attributed to both human ingenuity and divine favor. It was a defining moment in Elizabethan England, symbolizing national strength and resilience. Throughout the Tudor era, the throne was a magnet for conspiracies. The most famous of these was the Gunpowder Plot, an attempt to blow up James I, Elizabeth I's successor, and the Parliament. But during the reigns of her predecessors, numerous plots sought to dethrone or even assassinate the monarchs. These conspiracies involved a wide range of actors, from disgruntled nobles to foreign powers, each with their agendas. They were fueled by religious conflict, personal vendettas, and the high stakes of royal succession. The handling of these plots through espionage, brutal suppression, or shrewd diplomacy demonstrated the resilience and ruthlessness of the Tudor monarchs. The Tudor monarchs were adept not only at physical combat, but at psychological warfare. They understood the power of fear and loyalty, often manipulating these emotions to maintain control over their subjects and courtiers. Henry VIII's frequent marriages and purges instilled a climate of fear that ensured compliance. Elizabeth I, on the other hand, mastered the art of public relations, presenting herself as both the mother of her country and an invincible virgin queen, thus commanding love and respect. The psychological tactics employed by the Tudors were crucial to their governance. They helped forge a monarchy that could manipulate both the heart and the mind. The question of succession was a constant source of tension and conflict in the Tudor era. Henry VIII's desperate quest for a male heir led to multiple marriages and religious upheaval. Elizabeth I, meanwhile, chose never to marry, leaving a legacy of stability that ended with her death. The Tudor dynasty's approach to succession left a mixed legacy. On one hand, it brought about significant religious and cultural change. On the other, it set the stage for future conflicts and the eventual rise of the Stuart dynasty. The legacy of the Tudors is woven deeply into the fabric of English history, influencing its political, cultural, and social landscapes for generations. The Tudors were pivotal in setting England on the path to becoming a global power. Their support of naval explorers like Sir Francis Drake and the defeat of the Spanish Armada opened new trade routes and colonial ventures. This era laid the groundwork for the British Empire, establishing a naval tradition that would allow England to dominate the seas. The Tudors' global influence extended far beyond their lifetimes, affecting international politics, commerce, and culture. England's emergence as a naval power during the Tudor period set the stage for its future status as a global empire, marking the beginning of a new era in world history. The Tudor dynasty concluded with the death of Elizabeth II in 1603, marking the end of an era that had dramatically reshaped England. Her death brought the Stuart dynasty to the throne, shifting the course of English history. The transition was smooth, but the absence of a direct Tudor heir left a void filled by the Scottish King James VI, son of Mary, Queen of Scots. This transition began a new chapter in British history, characterized by a different approach to monarchy and governance. The end of the Tudor dynasty was as significant as its existence. It closed a chapter of profound transformation and opened another, continuing the saga of the British monarchy. The Tudor court was a stage on which the drama of high politics was performed. Every gesture, every word was part of a carefully crafted display meant to convey power and authority. This theatricality was evident in the lavish court feasts, the elaborate dress, and the intricate rituals of court life. The court itself was a tool of governance, a place where the monarch's image was curated and power was visibly exercised. The Tudor court's blend of spectacle and strategy was a crucial aspect of its political machinery, reflecting the complex interplay between public image and private ambition. Women in the Tudor court played roles that were both subtle and significant. They navigated a landscape dominated by men, leveraging their intelligence and social skills to gain influence and power. Figures like Anne Boleyn and Elizabeth I are the most renowned, but countless other women, ladies-in-waiting, mistresses, advisors, exerted soft power in a world where direct power was often inaccessible to them. They influenced policy, swayed kings, and managed vast estates, proving indispensable to the functioning of the court. The role of women at the Tudor court illustrates the ways in which they could maneuver within and occasionally subvert a patriarchal system to their advantage. The Tudors have captured the modern imagination, portrayed in countless films, series, and books. These portrayals vary from highly accurate to purely fictional, reflecting the enduring fascination with this dramatic period. The popular depictions of Henry VIII's tumultuous reign and Elizabeth I's masterful rule highlight their dramatic potential, but they also often simplify the complexities of these figures and their times. Nevertheless, these adaptations play a crucial role in shaping public perceptions of the Tudors today. The Tudor dynasty's representation in popular culture is a testament to its lasting impact, blending historical fact with creative interpretation to keep the past alive for new generations. The intrigues of the Tudor court encompass a tapestry of human ambition, frailty, and resilience. This period of English history was marked by profound changes and dramatic personalities, whose actions reshaped their world and left a lasting legacy. Reflecting on the Tudors reminds us of the power of personality in politics, the impact of individual decisions on history, and the timeless nature of human drama. The Tudor era, with all its plots, passions, and politics, offers enduring lessons on the complexities of leadership and the human condition. In studying the Tudors, we gain not only insights into the past, but also lessons that resonate in the present, reminding us of the depth and drama of human history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the intrigues of the Tudor court. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into history. Until next time, keep exploring the past to understand the present.